So this is my 2022.5 Can-Am Defender Limited. Has the heat in the air. I bought it from Schront's Power Sports, Taylorsville, North Carolina. Great bunch of people to deal with. This is actually my second side-by-side I bought from them. Excellent service. So I want to kind of go over what I've done to this so far. In the front, put an LED light bar on it. The factory lights are okay, but the LED lights definitely help. I've moved the tire size from the factory 27s up to a 32-inch tire. I put the Super ATV Ford A-arms. I went with the, bought the tires and wheels from my buddy Brandon at Rides in Conover, North Carolina. He actually recommended these, and so far they've done really well on the road. I've not really taken it off-road yet, but I'm getting ready to go to West Virginia to try them out. These are Valor wheels, and the Toyo Open Country. They're actually made them for a side-by-side. It's a 15-inch wheel, 32-inch tall. Definitely looks a lot better, and hopefully will ride a lot better. Now these 22.5s, they've changed the doors on them. They've got the sleek doors. They've also got the back windows that roll down. They don't have the locks on them. I wish Can-Am would have kept putting the locks on them, but not sure why they didn't. Did tint it, all the windows. I went with a 50 on the front and 20 on the sides and the back. At night, I do notice a little bit of glare, but nothing too terribly. I can see out of it just fine. Inside of it, my buddy Dave with Cryptic Side-by-Side helped me build this gun rack overhead. And in the back also, I put another gun rack. And basically between the seats. I see a lot of people putting them up front too. I haven't done that. I went with 4 6.5-inch Infinity speakers. Now the headliner has to come out and you have to build like a bracket. I made it out of 1/2-inch plywood. And as far as the amp, I went with the Side-by-Side Works 200 watt amp, and it's 2 ohm stable, which works really well with these Infinities because it's Infinity speakers are 2 ohm rated. I like it how it has this knob instead of like a push button for the volume control. So to me, it's a lot easier to deal with. Of course, went with the RAM mount. Can't beat those for holding your phone or your tablet. Went with the Corbin turn signal kit. I have made this street legal, so so I can ride it on the road. Pretty much plug and play with it. Works really well. I will say that I really wish they would have put the front locking differential instead of the Visco. My X3 has the Visco, and I switched it out to the Halo just because I didn't do really well. But I'm probably not gonna be putting this Defender through what I put my X3 through. Anyways, moving on, that's about all I've done to it. I did put some lights in the back just to have some lights on the bed. Haven't put a backup camera on it just yet. I might do that later. I can see out of the back pretty good, especially if you've ever owned an X3, then you definitely want to have a backup camera. But like I said, I'm going to West Virginia, and so after I've ridden this a few days, I'll try to give you a review of what I think of it so far. But anyways, for a utility side-by-side, so far I love it. I mean, I've owned 4 sports side-by-sides, 3 Razors and an X3, and so this is my first utility side-by-side. So I'm anxious to see how it does on the trails. just stopped here on the trail to kind of go over a few things so far. This is actually my second trip to West Virginia. I've ended up putting a few more miles than on it than I'd planned as far as giving a review. I've got pretty close to 1,000 miles on this now. Changed a few things, one of which are the originally started out with the sport fender flares on the front, because I went with the 20 or the 32-inch tires. Got rid of the sport fender flares and put the extended ones, the OEMs. They've helped a lot with as far as the mud. You still do get some mud, but nothing really bad. I have stuck with the sport ones on the rear though, because the tires really don't stick out that far. The Toyo Open Country tires, been very impressed with them. They're actually going a lot better off-road than I thought. That on-road they do awesome. They handle great, but off-road they're actually hooking up and doing really well. This thing, it rides so good. Can I go ripping down the trail like I did my X3? No. It's not going to soak up the hits like my X3 does, but I didn't expect it to. But the fact that it handles as good as it does, I'm very impressed. I've had at least 2 people with me all week riding with me, and one of which has a Polaris Ranger, and he much rather drive mine than his. But the fact that it has heat and air is just awesome. The tent, got 50 on the front, 20 on the sides and back. Haven't had any problems seeing out of it day or night. That was one of the things I was kind of skeptical about, because I didn't want to be able to not have enough light, being able to see out of it, but I've got plenty. The Defender headlights aren't, if you read the reviews, they need to put brighter ones on. Having the LED bar on the front has helped a lot. The windshield washer on the wiper arm leaks, especially if you spray the windshield, then it's pretty much going to leak for a while. And I don't know, I've seen some on the forums people talking about that, but other than that, been super impressed with it, and definitely would going to keep riding it, and would recommend any of you all out there that's wanting to buy a side-by-side to definitely take a look at this.